What is going on, guys? This is the Poke Tea Time podcast where we serve you up a cup of the hottest takes on what's going on in the Pokemon community. It's just me for this evening, your host, your one and only host, not Shivam. And we're going to try and keep this stream slash podcast episode kind of short, maybe. We don't know yet, but a lot of things have been happening these past 2 weeks. But before we get right into it, we're going to be talking, I'll be talking about Collecticon. Collecticon these past 2 weekends have been fantastic. It started off with Collecticon in Dallas, where I landed there in the close to noon. It was right around 11 o'clock. And, I got there, I got to eat some food and then got some mics because we needed some mics. And after that, we just, went to the convention center, got our stuff and set up and shot some stuff. So, hello, Kinamore, Marcus V, Epic 2. What is going on, everybody? So what's going to happen is that here in the next few weeks, you will see some new pieces of content because I had a videographer contracted out for both Dallas and Charlotte. So these past 2 weekends, and I'm hoping you guys enjoy that piece of content. We shot a lot of good stuff. We shot some content with Chum-Li. We have a few pieces of content coming out as far as reels go. Just lots of cool, exciting stuff that's going to come out. So I'm very ecstatic about it. But to just kind of go through these past 2 weekends, because I know last week when we had Swolepoke, we really didn't get down to the nitty gritty of what kind of took place in Dallas. But essentially, I get there Saturday morning. My videographer's taking forever to get ready. We got ready. We hit the convention center. I got Lootbox TV and them all set up at my booth. So I let the Collector app team basically get there, get settled up, and just to promote the application there. At the same time, there was people getting ready to compete in the Casters Cup for MetaZoo, which I'm assuming that my videographer also shot. So there's a lot of things that we shot. We shot Vanilla Ice. We shot Jason Page up on stage. As you could tell, there was a lot of reels and TikToks of myself, Super Duper Danny, Nostalgic Thrill, across the board throughout the entirety of that convention specifically. So outside of that, Saturday evening, myself, Super Duper Danny, Glitch City, for those guys who do know who Glitch City is, Agent V, as well as 100 Charizards and Poka Trav were all having dinner at this amazing restaurant called Wabi, where we had ramen. We got done eating there, and immediately we headed out to Dallas, where we went to Select Start. So lots of people had different plans throughout the entirety of Dallas, and that's mostly because we weren't really in Dallas. We were in Fort Worth, which is like 40 minutes away from Dallas. So a lot of people stayed in Fort Worth, and then some of us went to Dallas on Saturday night. And so that's where, I went to Select Start, where there was a break. You guys will definitely see footage of that. Lots of cool stuff. I'm sure if you see me on Instagram right now, there is a story where there is a story of that going on, and from Godzilla TCG. So that gives you a good glimpse as to what happened at that break. But my videographer is, putting all that stuff together. He just sent me a huge file of Charlotte Collecticon, and I will be sending this out to some of my editors. I'm now in the process of working. Well, I will be in the process of working with PokeRev's management and editing team. So that's really cool stuff. So I'm paying no expenses when it comes to the content that was shot at Collecticon. It's gonna be pretty cool stuff. I just uploaded my first vlog from Dallas an hour ago. It takes time. Trevor Gilson, what's going on? Yeah, it definitely takes time. Some of the stuff that I did shoot was specifically geared towards YouTube, and some of the stuff I shot was specifically geared towards reels and TikTok and shorts and whatnot. So I literally had my videographer follow me out everywhere, which was really cool. So for those guys who are just joining in, we're kind of keeping it mellow. We're kind of keeping it light. Nothing too crazy going on. But hopefully starting next week, we'll wrap things up as far as this tour goes, because your boy did not get a guest for this weekend specifically, even though I did have someone set up. I just wanted to kind of just touch base with you guys, because I think it's kind of important to have this sort of community-based kind of live podcast where I can just talk to you guys without having a co-host or a guest for the week. So one cool thing was on Saturday, I stopped by Heritage, and two of the guys, Jesus and Oscar, they stopped me. They said, "Hey Shiv, we would love for you to come tomorrow morning and shoot some stuff with us." So I said, "Bet, let's do it." So that day I get there and I get inside of the booth, and security, they basically tell everyone to exit the booth if they weren't there for content, because like they can't have anyone inside the booth unless security is present, and they themselves can't like take stuff out without all these. They have all these different rules to basically protect the assets that are there at the convention, and so security comes in, they block everything off, and then I'm in there with my videographer and 100 Charizards, and they pull out the card. They pull out the PSA 9 Pikachu Illustrator card, and they say it's gonna go for $1.5 million. But I don't know. There's some people that are kind of interested in buying it. I don't know if it's gonna go for that much, but I do know that probably the lowest it'll probably go is 800,000. But again, we don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that are that's going on that isn't the greatest as far as the economy goes. So we don't know. We will find out this week. We'll find out if it all gets paid for. But yeah, it was really cool. So then after, I got to hold the card, and I don't know, it still hasn't like quite hit me yet that I held a 7-figure card in the palm of my hands. Like it really hasn't come to terms with me yet, because it's just a piece of cardboard that's only 1997, I believe, 1997. About 25 years old, I think that if I'm not wrong, 24, something like that. It hasn't hit me yet. Like, I did say in the video that I shot that it's worth multiple of my own houses. Well, multiples of my house. I do know that according to the people from Heritage and some of the people that I've talked to, some of the people that I know are kind of interested in putting in a bid. I know what that bid is, but I'm not going to disclose that here. So I think it might go for a decent amount, but it's too early to say. Then after that, they pulled out the Pokemon Center Magical Clock for me, and I had just went there and took a picture of it the day before, and I was talking to people that were gathering around and looking at it, and kind of pretty much explaining the importance of it. So the Pokemon Center New York Magical Clock is considered a grail, and the reason why it's a grail is simply because of the fact that it came out during the grand opening of Pokemon Center New York, and Pokemon Center New York is defunct. It no longer exists. It's now called the Nintendo Store New York. And so a lot of the items that came out from that store specifically are very expensive. They're worth a lot of money. Even the plastic gift bags are worth a lot. I think I gave one of them to Charlie Herlocker. So yeah, a lot of stuff. Like, there's a Lugia giant plush or whatever. No, it's not a Lugia. There's like the giant legendary dogs plush that come from there, and some of those plushies can go for $4,000 to $5,000. So like, that just gives you an idea how expensive some of the stuff goes. Even the statues from Pokemon Center New York are really, really expensive, but it's also beautiful too. And I know last week we talked with Swolepoke, right? We talked about how he likes collecting Pokemon Center stuff, and stuff from that particular area, from that center itself, is worth a lot of money. And yeah, if you ever find yourself, trying to collect that, or if you want to collect Pokemon Center New York, definitely do so. I only had one gift bag, but I gave it to Charlie, so I hope he cherishes it. So then, obviously we shot some content with that. You saw the reel already. And that was such a cool moment because it's literally on my list of collectibles that I do want. I know that there's one on auction right now on Heritage, but I found some news as to who has about 3 more of these, and I might just hit them up in the near future just to see if I can buy one off of them. But that kind of concludes that right there. Sunday evening, I kind of kept it mellow. I let my videographer take the rest of the evening, so he pretty much got to the hotel, slept, and did not wake up until like 12 o'clock that night. But myself, Poketrav, Poke Dreamer, we had a light little, I guess you could call it appetizers. I don't know if Lucario was, I don't know if Matt was there for that, but we did see Matt the day before. We were at Wings and Things. I think that's what it was, for dinner where everyone was at for the Cryptic guys' stuff. But pretty much I got back to the hotel after eating around 6 o'clock or so, and I just pretty much called it a night, and just kind of relaxed for a little bit because my feet were killing me. I pretty much made my videographer work that entire weekend. We walked around a lot. We got a lot of things shot between the concert, just everything in terms of quality too is superb. So as far as video quality goes, I literally made sure that has gone up, and in some instances the audio is something that we try to do our best on. It's certainly a lot better than previous shows that I've shot footage at. So that's the upside in all of this. TCA Gaming as a guest soon, possibly. Like, I have my ways of asking guests to be on the podcast, and that's just it's one of those things that could potentially happen. It's possibly in the works. So also for those guys who do not know, Unlisted Leaf was at Collecticon. I didn't get too much time to spend with Unlisted Leaf and Sarah Natachini in Dallas, simply because of the fact that there was just so many different plans that were going on. And then on top of that, I made it a point to go to bed fairly early on multiple nights. So that's one of those. Otherverse TCG is in the chat. What is going on? I believe it's Sam. If it's Sam that's in the chat, what's going on? So yeah, that's another thing. On Saturday and Sunday, I made it a point to go visit every Indie TCG's booth, and I had my own personal opinions about each booth that I went to. I made it an effort to talk to, if not all the people at the booth, whether it was Cannabis, whether it's Titan wasn't there, but I spent a lot of time with Akora. I spent a lot of time with Cryptic because they cleared out everything that they were doing on the spot, and they were able to talk to me. And so like you guys will see videos of myself talking to Tanner again, and then you'll see another video of myself talking to Axion from Akora as well, where I'm doing a one-on-one interview. So I try to do that with most, if not all, indie TCGs that were there. There's some indie TCGs that I just do not think are going to last long. So it's one of those Cannabis FTW. It's one of those things that I think I don't think it's gonna last too long. But I think other TCGs should learn from that. And based upon these conventions, I hope that a lot of TCGs were watching each other in regards to what they're doing that is successful that they can incorporate with themselves. It really requires a lot of it really requires a lot of introspection in regards to what my TCG is lacking at and what I can actually add to it that makes it much better. Whether it's adding this level of playability that I think is super important over the collectability of something. I really do believe that playability is the biggest thing that every TCG needs to focus on. And I think that a lot of these new TCGs are getting caught up on the artificial rarity of certain cards or just the hype of what's going on. What's my absolute favorite part of attending all the cons so far? Honestly, for myself as a content creator, I'll talk in multiple aspects and multiple verticals. So, as a content creator, I go to these events so that way I can bounce off ideas with other content creators. Whether it's things that I'm planning on doing, whether it's things that are currently going on, things that I want to do, stuff like that. Collaborating is such a big thing that a lot of us content creators do at these conventions, and it's super imperative that I do that. And essentially, that's my favorite part. That and meeting people who actually watch my content. It really puts things into perspective. It's kind of surreal too. Like, I met Travis Iberis, that's in the chat, on Sunday. So I literally left the convention about an hour early because I really wanted to go hang out by the pool, because that was something that I wanted to do all weekend long. And he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, me and my wife just got done eating. Would you be available to like come meet us for a little bit? We want to get you something and just say hi, hello." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I made it a point to actually go downstairs, talk to them for a decent amount of time, and they were so kind enough to give me buttons, and just they showed me they were telling me of all the things that they got at the convention. They were telling me how they were wheeling and dealing around Collecticon. So that's all part of it. But that I think for me, it's just meeting people that actually loves watching the content. Like, I really look forward to people who just like literally stop me and say hello. Like, I always look busy. Like, people will message me in the DMs and say like, "Oh, Shiv, you look like you were busy, so I didn't want to bother you." And that's why like I had to put up a story Sunday, where I said like, "Stop me and say hello. I might be doing 5 different things, but my priority is being able to meet people. I want to make it a priority, and I continuously will make it a priority to stop whatever I'm doing to talk to someone." I think that's what this is all about. I think going to these shows, meeting people who have similar habits and similar addiction. I wouldn't even call it an addiction, but okay, you can call it an addiction. I spend a lot of money on cardboard. Like, other people who are not involved in this space would call us crazy. But yeah, it's just the best part of it all. Like, I get to see faces, and then I'm not the best with names initially, but when I see that face so often and seeing it pop up every time I go to shows, it's great. And so like, one of the coolest things is just seeing cards, seeing certain collectibles. Going by the Rare Candy booth on both Friday and Saturday was absolutely crazy. So Saturday and Sunday. So like, literally seeing them put a bunch of high-end trophy cards in the case in their display, and then they rotated it completely the next day, blew my mind. So shout out to Rare Candy, shout out to Leonhardt, shout out to Alec from Rare Candy. We will have Alec from Rare Candy on the podcast very soon, possibly the president or CEO of Rare Candy very soon, because I'm in the works and talking to them. And then for those guys who do not know, I'm still in the process of trying to schedule out the right time to get Ryan Bader, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, who is the other co-founder of Liquid Marketplace alongside with Logan Paul. Ryan will be part of the podcast very soon. We've already spoken about this, so it's one of those things that we're getting ready to do. I also would like to have Charlie Herlocker on the podcast. Shouldn't be too difficult because I see him all the time at these sort of shows, and talking to Rusty is always great. So I think those are some of my biggest highlights as far as Dallas goes. Dallas was much bigger and much more chaotic in a good way in comparison to Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina was a lot less chaotic. It was less chaos. It was, it is kind of chaotic if it's your first time going, but it's a lot less chaos compared to Orlando or Dallas. And for me, it was great because all I had to do was just drive myself and my videographer down, and we checked in at a really, really nice hotel called the Omni in Charlotte. There was an Omni in Dallas, Texas, but myself and my videographer, we didn't stay there. We stayed in the Hilton in Texas. And what's cool about the Hilton in Texas is that it was formerly known as the Hotel Texas. And that's where JFK stayed at before getting shot. Literally, he checked out and then got shot. So that was pretty cool. Well, interesting is the right word, I would say. Like, pretty interesting to be at like sort of a historical landmark, so to speak. But Charlotte was pretty good. It felt like home to me because I visit Charlotte so often. But like that particular part of Charlotte is a spot that I've never ever got to explore. So downtown Charlotte is something that I just never got to be around or go around or explore or go eat at. It's just something that I've just been around, not necessarily right in the heart of Charlotte. And that's another big thing, being able to travel and being able to like explore just like the outskirts of your hotel. I think that's really cool too. Like I made it a point in Dallas and Charlotte to have like alone time, like legit alone time where I'm by myself, and I'm just enjoying and taking everything in of that particular area for myself. And obviously, like, you guys will definitely see a lot of the footage from Collecticon, from both Collecticons, and even after the Collecticons too. So we're gonna fast forward to Charlotte. It was pretty much no downtime. I literally got one video out last week. I usually get 2 videos out, which is the reaction videos that I've been doing, as well as the podcast. We get the podcast out, but the reaction video kind of was put on pause simply because of the fact that I was just so caught up in doing a bunch of different things, sending out different mail. I legit sent mail out Saturday morning before driving out to Collecticon. So it's crazy just being able to make sure that we have all of our equipment. We're not forgetting anything, getting laundry done at the last minute, like at 2:00 in the morning, packing up and then going to Charlotte. I was really pumped about that one because there wasn't that many content creators, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It was myself, PokeJew, Nostalgic Thrill, Super Duper Danny wasn't at this one, but Ando was at this one. So I got to spend a lot of time with Ando on Sunday versus Saturday and Friday, because I think he just wanted to kind of take some alone time for himself and just ease right back into it, because it's that back-to-back aspect of it that can really, really catch people up. And I was kind of well rested throughout these past few Collecticons, so it didn't really bother me too much. So then, what's cool is that when I got to the hotel, the hotel itself, the lobby, kind of like the whole vibes the lobby gave me in Omni Charlotte gave me vibes of Frisco, which was like where Frisco, Texas, which is where we had the first and second Collecticon. I only went to the second Collecticon in Dallas, in Frisco, Texas, and the lobby itself gave a lot of vibes of that, because of where it was much more low key. Everyone hung out in the lobby. We got done eating, lobby. People might have had different dinner plans, but everyone came back to the lobby, hung out and drank, and it was just a good time. First night that we're there, I'm just hanging out with the formerly known DFW guys for a little bit before going up to my room. And there's the Red Power Ranger, Austin St. John. He's eating. I almost felt bad because the dude had AirPods in and he was eating while having his drink. But that day there was some card shops from my local town that were there, not from my local town, but kind of close to home, that were there. And myself and Nostalgic Throw, we bought a buttload of packs from them. When I say like a buttload, we bought like probably 200 packs off of them. And some of these packs were like $1 a pop. Some of them were $2 a pop, but we bought out all their Power Rangers packs. And, I pulled out an Austin St. John card of him, and I poked him on his shoulder and I said, "Hey, here you go. This is a card of you." And it literally came out of $1 pack. And, I guess he appreciated it a lot, because literally Sunday night, he pretty much bought myself, Ando, he pretty much bought myself and 5 other dudes shots of tequila, which I thought was cool. Got to hang out with the Power Rangers on Sunday night, which I thought was really fun. And I did, Ian. Yes, I went to both Dallas and North Carolina Collecticons. I actually am going to all Collecticons because I work with Collecticon. So I will be at Long Beach. I will be at Kansas City. I will be at Denver as well. So make sure if you do see me, stop me and say hello. There were a lot of kids in Dallas too. Some of them actually blew my mind. There was a kid named Ishan there, and him and his dad, they do Pokemon together. And this kid is like probably 13, 14 years old, pulling out sealed WotC boxes. And I'm like, what is going on? And then there was another kid, probably about the same age. I didn't quite catch his name. I think it's in the video. He's like pulling out like Japanese exclusive promos that are in the high grades, literally going around wheeling and dealing and hustling, like legit trading up. And these kids are not afraid to ask to trade with you. They're like, hey, I want to see what you have for trade. Or like, hey, like if you spot something out, they're like, oh, do you want that? We can maybe trade. And like, that's something that I noticed at this convention in Dallas more so than other ones. And it kind of made me hopeful about the hobby itself, because it's like, you see so much of like just the simple opening packs and buying booster boxes and stuff like that. And that's totally fine. But seeing kids getting involved at that kind of level of trading and commerce when it comes to collectibles, it really is kind of crazy, because it's like, dang, imagine what these kids could accomplish if they keep it up and they end up being your age. Like imagine just not only the value, but the quality of what they have in their collections once they're like 27 or 28 or 32 or just something like that. It's kind of crazy. It's really fascinating to see how well and how much this hobby is going to progress. I think it's really cool. But that Ishan kid definitely blew my mind, because he was like, yeah, I just got done sending a mystery box to PokeRev, and he shot some content with Leonhardt, and I think the video that Leonhardt just put up today is footage from that, and I think it's from him too. Artemis was there too. Artemis was there with us at the Wabi house eating ramen, and after that, she tried to give me a delivery Pikachu card. So, just to give you guys, I know I'm like kind of sporadic and erratic as far as like my story goes, but bear with me. We're on our way back to, I think we're on our way back. I think we're on our way back to something. And Artemis gives me a Pikachu delivery card, and it's still in the cellophane. And she's like, Shiv, I remember watching your reaction video where you said you still don't have it. So here you go. I wanted to get you this card. And I was just literally baffled. My jaw dropped, because that is not a cheap card. It is an expensive card. And I told her, like, literally, I can't take this. I can't accept it. I have the means to be able to get a card like that. But I said, like, I think it would mean the world to some other person out there or kid out there if you gave it to them. So I'm curious to know what you did with that card, or if you're holding it off, or you're doing something that I'm sure you have something planned for that card that I think is amazing. But again, shout out to Artemis for doing that. And again, it's really awesome that people are actually enjoying the reaction videos. I got a lot of negative feedback about it, but I listen to more of the positive than the negative. And honestly, there's a lot of cool stuff that's going to happen as far as that goes. Now, going back to Charlotte, it was just really cool. We hung out at the pool. I'm pretty sure the Black Power Ranger cockblocked me, which is another story in itself. Maybe I'll talk more about it next week. It was funny. None of that got caught on camera, unfortunately. But it was just really cool. Just hanging out with Ando. Ando gave me a lot of advice. There's a lot of different things that are in the works as far as business goes, because a lot of you guys know that when I go to these conventions, it's not just about content. It's not necessarily about networking. It's about being able to do business-based deals, whether it's working with a TCG, whether it's, it's something. I might be, actually, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to reveal too much, because nothing's set in stone yet. But again, I do appreciate, just the overall positive reception and the positive feedback that I've been receiving. So these past 2 weeks, I've also, I'm going to take it back even further. 3 weeks ago, for those guys who do not know, I'm kind of disclosing it now. I took a break from social media. So what that means is that I was pretty much just posting on social media as is. So fulfilling my normal obligations. And I did this because I was just going through stuff mentally. There was a lot of things that were going on that was just really affecting me. And so, I got advice. I had some really great advice from Alex Hodges. Shout out to Alex Hodges if he watches this. And that was to just stop consuming content. Do what you need to do as far as your obligations go, and then just get off social media. So that's exactly what I did. And so these past 2 weeks allowed me to do just that. It allowed me to just work, create content, and not really look at my phone so much outside of posting what I needed to. And it really it really gave me this it really let me reset myself, and it was much needed. And so within those 2 weeks, I also was fielding out different questions with a lot of people in regards to the direction of this channel. So for those guys who do not know, this channel is really, really close to monetization. We hit watch time hours in December of last year. So in 2021 in December, we hit our watch time, which is fantastic. But I've really, really been making it a huge push these past 2 months. So we literally went from at the beginning of April, right around 460 or so, I think 460 or 560 subscribers, to now 830 subscribers. Before, we were only getting maybe 1 or 2 subscribers a week, which isn't really that great. And so I've been going really, really hard on the back end of stuff. So I'm assuming if all goes well, the channel might be monetized by next week, maybe 2 weeks from now. Who knows? I would love for the channel to be monetized by the end of this month. We are only 170 subscribers away, so it shouldn't take too long. And again, it's all thanks to you guys. You guys have been sharing this across the board on your stories. I see it, and I'm really, really appreciative of it. And with that in mind, there's a lot of things that I've been kind of thinking about as far as the channel goes. Obviously, you guys know that Yizzy is no longer my co-host, so it gives me a little bit more freedom as to what I want to do with this channel, and the direction that I wanted to take. So currently, the channel's name is Poke Tea Time. There were people that were negative. There was some negative responses within the past few weeks as far as the name of the channel, saying that I need to change the name. And that doesn't bother me, because when I was coming up with the channel name with my former co-host, it was this thing where it was known from the jump that the name Poke Tea Time was going to be temporary. I was going to change it eventually. So I'm currently working on a new name. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But I have a few already. And as far as the direction of the channel goes, the podcast will still be here. The logo will change, different things. And I'm honestly very hopeful. I'm actually pretty excited, because with the certain business deals that I am currently working up, as well as the new direction of the channel, which is something that I would like to hit before hitting 1K, it kind of works out in a way. And what's going to happen is that I would like for it to fully fund me getting an editor, and me being able to fly out my videographer at every show. So if all goes well in the next few weeks, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful about what's to come. And that's kind of the update as far as the channel goes. It's not bad. It's not bad. Now, is the reaction video is going to go away? No. That's going to stay. It's going to be a staple of the channel for sure. I have a vision for that, and I have milestones to achieve with that. And honestly, the views aren't too high for them, but the SEO rating for them is absolutely fantastic. So for those guys who do not know, SEO means search engine optimization, and it's part of the back end of these videos. And so I've been paying attention to that very, very specifically. And so that is going to be a mainstay. I will resume reaction videos probably starting tomorrow. I will shoot tomorrow, and I'll get it all done and set up. In the meantime, I will have Kang or Pokey. I'm starting to work. Well, I will start to work with PokeRiv's editing and management team. So Daniel, if you're watching this, I will be talking to you very soon. And that's pretty much it as far as the channel goes. There's just a lot that I want to accomplish with this, and I'm always going to make it a priority to give you guys the best content possible, and have you guys involved in the process of it. I want this to be a place for us, and just a place where we can just just have this conversation where it's just about collecting. And if you haven't yet joined the Discord is slowly growing. And if you're in the Discord, feel free to share it with a friend that you feel like it's a great place to kind of show off their collections or talk about certain things. There's a lot of things that are going on, and I'm just very, very hopeful for everything. And just talking to Unlisted Leaf and his struggles, and then talking about what I've been going through, really puts a huge perspective. It really does put things into perspective. And these past few days, I've been feeling nothing but inspired. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I really wish I could take all of you guys with me to Collecticon, but since I can't do that, the next best thing to do is give you a decent vlog. So the Discord is called the Poke Tea Time Discord. It's actually in my link tree. So if you go on www.notshivum.com, you can just click on that and you'll find it right there. It's really cool. It's really fun. And you can just show off whatever you want. Like it's not a place where you only have to show off Pokemon collectibles. It's a place where you can show off your Nerf gun collection. It could be your stamp collection. It could be anything that you're collecting or that you bought that you think is cool. And yeah, just lots of cool stuff that's coming up. Lots of cool things for the channel that I'm just very hopeful about. It was really rough these past couple of months. I will say that not a lot of people know, and if you did know, then I'm glad that you've been there. And if you haven't known, I'm still very thankful for you guys for just constantly being supportive of the channel even throughout all of this. So again, you guys will see. You guys will see some cool stuff. I think I will post a panel episode of Unlisted Leaf this week. So I got to run panels, which was also really fantastic. So I think that's that's another big highlight of mine that I get to do, is being able to work with a lot of these voice actors. And one of the coolest moments that you will see is with Eric Stewart, where towards the end of the interview, he's like, "You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck," in the Seto Kaiba voice, which I think is like crazy as hell. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so that will come up as well, probably next week. But I also had a panel with Erica Schroeder with Eric Stewart. I had Sarah Nottachini and Jason Page. I had Unlisted Leaf just by myself. Gary was supposed to be there, but Gary is getting kind of old, and the back-to-back events probably was going to hit him pretty hard. So it was just myself. Nostalgic Thrill is on stage with me with Unlisted Leaf, and we have a panel for that coming up. And there's one more. I had Leah Clark, Elizabeth Maxwell, and Jason Liebrick. So for those guys who do not know, some of these voice actors voice people from Dragon Ball Super, as well as My Hero Academia. So it's really, really cool stuff. I really wish I would have had the voice actor of Jiraiya. So if you look at my story, I did get a video of him doing the Kenpachi Zaraki voice. And that was really cool. That was chills. It gives me chills. If you haven't gone to a Collecticon, please do so. It's honestly a fantastic time. Go to any convention. Even if it's a local convention, go to one. I am going to Miami this weekend, so no breaks, no off days. I'm literally going from one convention to another convention to another convention. So Miami's the next one. That's this weekend. I fly out Friday morning, fairly early. I leave from my airport at around 7:00, and then I get to Miami at 9:00. So I'm only there till Sunday evening, and I'm back home by Sunday. So it should be a good time. I will be there with Super Duper Danny, and we'll be making a bunch load of content. Yeah, just overall pumped with all the things that are currently going on. So, I do apologize again for not having a proper setup as far as this podcast goes, but I felt like it was more necessary to kind of give you guys a rundown of what's actually happening, because again, you guys are subscribers to the channel. You guys should be a part of this when it comes to the decision making of this channel as well, because you guys show up every single week, which is something that I do appreciate. But yeah, if you guys have any names for for this podcast or this channel, let me know. One of them that I've been kind of thinking about, which it's okay, but it's not quite there yet, is the Cards and Culture podcast. So the goal is to essentially talk about collectibles of all sorts, specifically in the TCG realm, and then just talking about the culture around that, talking about the community and everything that goes with that. So that's just something that I've kind of been tinkering on, and just pretty hopeful about stuff. Pretty pumped, actually. There's a lot of things that's going great at the moment. Lots of content coming soon, and that's pretty much it. If you guys have any particular questions, I'm going to take this next 5 minutes or a few minutes or so just to answer it. Meeting you at Houston Collecticon was incredible. Highly recommend these events. Yes. Max Mofo, yes. Max, if you see this, I would love to produce content with you. I think at this point, I have worked with every major Pokemon content creator there is. Wait, Tea Time? I think we did meet in Dallas. Yes, we did. That would be me. I'm not Shivam. The podcast is called Poke Tea Time. But even at shows, it'll be changed. It won't be called Tea Time anymore. But it'll just be called Not Shivam as the special guest for the event. So yeah, just really stoked. But yeah, I think I've worked with every major content creator there is. I've done stuff with PokeRev. I've done stuff with Leonhardt, Nate, Danny, Gemmint Pokemon, Unlisted Leaf. Yeah, I think I've done it all. Jordan Fringe. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool to say that I've like made content with almost every major person in the hobby, which it's kind of cool if you honestly think about it. I think the only person that I haven't made content with is Z&G Emporium. TCA Gaming, I do have us making, doing a pack opening. It's not really Pokemon though. It's like very brief, and it's on my phone, so it's not in the best quality either. I'm hoping my videographer caught that too. I do have a pack opening with Chum-Li, so that's really cool. It's really brief, but it will be up. I'm trying to think what else. That I'm missing. A-Drive as well. I haven't worked with A-Drive. We've been in back and forths every now and then, but I think after Legends Arceus, he's kind of gotten full-blown busy, so I haven't worked with him. I've done content. Well, I've hung around with Glitch City and Agent V. They're great people. That's really it. I will definitely say that Houston versus Dallas Collecticon made some incredible improvements. Was happy to see those improvements in Dallas and looking forward to Kansas City Collecticon. Yeah, so a lot of people whose first Collecticon was in Houston. And the thing is that it wasn't a great representation, especially if you saw Collecticon before that. Collecticon in Dallas technically in Frisco, Texas at the embassy was beyond spectacular. And then going from that to Houston was kind of a damper. And so this time around, Dallas was such a huge improvement. I mean, Orlando was a huge improvement. Charlotte was great. Like, I think Charlotte was definitely different. For those guys who missed out, who have gone to other Collecticons and did not go to this one, you guys missed out. This event literally had a bunch of new kind of vendors that you don't normally see at all these other shows. So we had a lot of Magic the Gathering vendors there, a lot more sports card vendors there, and obviously all these new indie TCGs there. D Spirits was there, and it had a huge footprint, which was weird. And there were actually people playing it, so like, I'm confused. I did want to go approach the founder of D Spirits and like put him in the hot seat just by asking him a random question. And I was gonna ask him if he was concerned about whether or not Bandai would give him a C&D, because Digimon, D Spirits, Digital Monsters, Digital Spirits. So if I ever catch Sterling, I'm gonna ask him that. Put him in the hot seat. There's a bunch of creators who make their own regions and such. A lot of those guys have hundreds of thousands of subs. Yeah. I agree. It's crazy. But yeah, I think it's really cool being able to collaborate. I think that's the thing. I don't think Pokemon content creating is a competition. I think it's a place where You can collaborate, and there's enough room for everyone to kind of win in this space. And so that's why I do it. That's why I'm more than happy. Like, if I see someone put up cool things on Instagram, then I put it on my story. Like, if it really piques my interest, then I put it on my story. If it's something where I think it's just awesome, I'll put it on my story. Not every time. Like, if it's not like every time if I'm friends with someone, I'll automatically put it on my story. That's just not how it works. If I like it, it's going to go on my story. A lot of people are like kind of, I wouldn't say pretentious, but they don't want to share anyone else's stuff, and they just post their own stuff. And it's like, okay, you can do that. But I think there's plenty of room for everyone to eat. And, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff, that we shot. I think just in Dallas alone, we shot 150 gigs of content. And then Charlotte, there's no telling because I still haven't even opened up those files. So, yeah, I would love to work with some, if not all, even small content creators. It's just all about value. Can you bring value? As you could tell, the thumbnail is the boys. But if you're a girl too, or if you identify as they, them, you part of the crew. Come join the festivities, because it's fun. Collecting is fun. Producing content is fun. Go to a show. If you've never gone to a show, go to a show. It really puts things into perspective. Like, it really makes you like look at the whole state of social media as far as this hobby goes, and it makes you scoff. It's like, there's really people on social media who are getting upset and angry over cardboard. Like, there are people out there that are literally bullying people over cardboard. Like, I get it. It's like Pokemon, and this means a lot to us. But, like, there's people out there that are literally talking bad or bullying other people just for what? It's cardboard. It's a kid's game. That's something that people need to remember. And just these past 2 weekends, I've shifted my focus. I've shifted my mindset on a lot of things. And your boy is about to make a lot of cool content. So on that note, guys, it was great. I know this podcast was an hour long, but I just really wanted to sit down on a live with you guys, give you guys an update as to what's been happening in my life. Because I don't really talk about like the whole personal side of things a lot. Again, I appreciate you guys just being there. On that note, we're going to go ahead and sign off. We are going to resume a full schedule of content next week, and I will get some panel episodes out this week as well. So, I hope you guys are doing this with me, because if I'm doing this by myself, I look like a dummy. So, sips up, deuces, and we're out. We're also going to change that too. Like, come on. All right, guys. Peace out. See you guys in the next one. And again, appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you guys on the Discord. Join the Discord now. And if you haven't done so, make sure you pay attention to our sponsors, TCG Stadium, the Pokemon Network, Double Infinity Gaming, and Collector. I will be in Miami, so be there, because you're going to miss out. It's going to be a great time. See ya. Bye, guys.